What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless. At one point in time, they were a duo that dominated basketball talk. Well, I should say sports talk, not basketball talk, in this country for, what was it, 6 or 7 years. They co-hosted ESPN First Take and had much influence on sports talk. And they are the ones that pretty much set the template for what was to dominate sports talk for quite some time, the debate. That's only really gotten kind of stale, I would say, since around 2019, 2020. Of course, Skip Bayless left ESPN and First Take back in 2016, and for about 8 years was the host of Undisputed. 7 of those 8 years, his co-host was Shannon Sharpe. Now, we all know that Shannon Sharpe and Skip had an acrimonious split, and ever since that split, fortunes have not been kind to Skip Bayless, but they've been very, very fortunate for Shannon Sharpe. He has multiple avenues as far as outlets. He has a very successful YouTube podcast that has millions of subscribers. The most watched interview in YouTube history with Cat Williams. He has the podcast that he does with what's his name, Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco, and he has appearances on ESPN First Take, whereas Skip is in limbo. Skip, after the departure of Shannon Sharpe last year, Undisputed spiraled in the ratings, and the show came to an end. I believe they canceled the show. I know they got rid of Skip. Fox Sports, he's no longer with them, and according to reports, he's going to start a podcast, none other than Lil Wayne. But anyway, Stephen A. Smith recently revealed that he really doesn't talk to Skip Bayless anymore, and that they haven't spoken in about a year and a half. On the podcast, he said, quote, "We've only spoken once over the last year, a year and a half or so." I said this on the Fully Loaded podcast. "We don't speak much anymore." And he said that basically what caused the rift between him and Skip was him approaching, in a phone call, approaching him about what he felt was, from his perspective, unfair treatment of Shannon Sharpe by Skip. Now, we all saw what happened on that particular show. Skip is the ultimate fan of Tom Brady, and he took umbrage to the criticisms that Shannon Sharpe was levying. Not really criticisms, but just, certain things about Tom Brady that Skip was losing as far as his objectivity. And then Skip made it personal and accused Shannon Sharpe of being jealous of Tom Brady and not being as good a Hall, not being a good player, and all this other stuff. And that totally threw Shannon Sharpe for a loop. You can see he was trying to control himself and keep his composure. And that was the beginning of the end. Then it was the other incident, of course, with the football player with the Buffalo Braves. I think his name was Darrell Hamlin, who suffered cardiac arrest. And Skip seemed to be more interested or more teetotaled about or pissed off about the fact that they canceled the game rather than the life of the player, So, Shannon Sharpe was pissed off. Stephen A. Smith thought that was wrong. He thought that Skip was out of line. And plus, I'm pretty sure Stephen A. Smith, obviously, he has seen up close some of Skip Bayless's flaws. Okay, I'm not saying Skip is a horrible person. I don't know him, but from what I can tell, he definitely has flaws in his personality. He thinks that he's the smartest person in the room. There's competitiveness, and then there's crossing over into the vein, into that area of being a complete and total asshole. And it has to be skipped to a certain extent. I mean, look, this is the same dude that got into a fight, who was his former debate partner with Woody Page, who was his former debate partner. You know, I'm pretty sure, even though Stephen A. Smith and Skip got along, they probably had moments when they butted heads. Obviously, that's been reported as well. And of course, we know that Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe, their relationship will never mend. I think with Skip, I remember reading this before. Skip is the type of dude that wants complete and total loyalty from people. And to him, criticism is, from what I can gather, I know a lot of people are like this, people who are very narcissistic. Criticism or constructive criticism is an attack on them, which is very hypocritical of Skip, because Skip is one of the most critical of sports journalists, of athletes, of other people. And he can be nasty, you know what I'm saying? It can go beyond sports with him. He you know, once talked about Mike McCarthy's weight as far as his qualifications being a head coach. And then you saw, you know, look, Jennifer Taft, I think that was her name, right? Or Jenny Taft. She left the show primarily because she couldn't really deal with Skip. So, I mean, you got a long list of people who just can't work with this guy. And everybody can't be wrong. Woody Page refuses to work with him. Chris Carter refused to work with him for the rest of his tenure with ESPN. We know Shannon Sharpe not going to work with his ass. Jenny Taft pretty much left. There's been rumors of other on-air personalities who said they didn't want to work with him no more. When Shannon Sharpe left the show and looking for a replacement, they couldn't find anybody. Not for a long, long time, you know what I'm saying? So there's definitely something there, man. And at the end of the day, I'm not a fan of Stephen A. Smith in the least. You know, we all know what he's about, but at the end of the day, it's kind of messed. It's kind of, well, you know, it's a business. You know what I'm saying? These guys ain't high school friends, childhood friends. They're mutual acquaintances. You know what I'm saying? But these things happen. And I think to a certain extent with Skip, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some envy. He's a 73-year-old man who probably has been blackballed from network television for the most part. And people, you know, and it's been it's a decline period for him. I'm pretty sure this podcast is going to be on social media, on YouTube. I'm thinking with Lil Wayne, and Lil Wayne's a friend of his, so he wants to talk to somebody that he can trust, which is why I think that he has trust issues. And if you criticize him or whatever, he takes it real personal. You know what I'm saying? You can't be. If I'm Skip Bayless, bro, you can't be as direct and as sharp and acid tongue as you are with criticism of athletes and people, and then be that sensitive personally. But I noticed that with a lot of people who are like that. You know, Howard Cosell was kind of like that, man. He was very he was a very verbose person, but he was also rather acid tongue. But he was very sensitive to criticisms. So it is what it is, man. But tell me what you guys think in the comment section, man.